Hello, you'll recall in the last video that we dared to make an interpretation of factor 1. We said that on the positive side of the factor, uh, Hillary seemed to be an interactive arguer when she was First Lady and Secretary of State, and we know that because she used lots of first-person reasoning, interactivity, inquiry. But when she was U.S. Senator, she seemed to be more nerdy and wonkish, less interactive, less reasoning, less second-person you, interactive, less use of curiosity, and just use lots of big academic words and talk about institutions. So she seemed more like a wonk, a nerd, a bureaucrat, however you want to call it. But how do we know this, and how can we actually text mine and see if these intuitions are right? What we can do is we can go back to the statistical package. We can go back to the actual text and values. We can click on the names and copy them. Okay, we can go to here. If you recall, we put factor 1 here. We just didn't label it, but we could. We put factor 3 here. We can get rid of factor 2 because it wasn't significant, so we don't really need to deal with it. We can just say clear the cells. Okay, we can then click and put all the text here in factor 1 for factor 1. Oops, I don't mean this is, yeah. And this is factor 3 again. We'll come to in a different video. Right now we're just focused on interpreting. What we're now going to do is we'll call this text ranked on factor 1. And we'll call this text ranked on factor 3. Okay, and what we're going to do is we'll save it just so that we don't lose it, because we have to come back to factor 3 in another video. We're going to go here and get the values here. Now, I find it, you could do it in the statistical package. I find it a little bit easier just to go to cut and paste this into Excel and do it. So this is Excel, and maybe we need to get a new one. So I'll see, yeah, just get a new Excel folder. Okay, and then we're going to put here. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to sort. So we're going to select both the text name and its factor score, and then we're going to sort it using custom sort. Largest to smallest, which is good. Okay, so what this tells us is that these are the speeches that Hillary gave that are highest on factor 1. This means that these speeches, particularly these two, because notice their scores are 2 or above, these two speeches are the speeches that we want to look at. When it comes to seeing what it means for Hillary to be an interactive reasoner. Okay? And so if there are any two speeches that represent what it means to be an interactive arguer or reasoner, it would be these two speeches. And notice both she gave when she was First Lady. And here, this is -3. So if there was any speech to really understand what it meant for her to be a nerd, it would be this speech when she is a senator. Notice that the second speech is when she's first lady, but look how many speeches are at the bottom she gave when she was U.S. Senator. So I would look at this speech, okay, and I would look at this speech, and so there are 4 speeches we want to look at to really interpret factor 1, and that is the speech, not this speech, sorry. Speech on pregnancy when she was Secretary of State. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to open up each of these 4 texts in STV. So we're going to stop the video here and then go ahead and do that in the next